Who am I? I'm a woman who likes to prove people wrong by breaking boundaries and accomplishing unexpected things. And my favorite medium for doing that is big mountains. I am in this film, Capturing Everest, because I was lucky, because I happened to be climbing Mount Everest with Madison Mountaineering the same year that we filmed this video. And I think that the events of my life leading up to that summit are unexpected. And I've realized that those events and the strength that it took to get through them semi-gracefully taught me a lot. And I feel fortunate that I can share that with other people. So to me, this film really is a blessing to be able to share not only what it means and takes to climb Mount Everest, but kind of the backstory of people who set out to accomplish that kind of a goal. Because there's more to climbing a big mountain, to achieving something difficult than what you see on the surface. And I like to share that story with other people. If I had to cast a hero and a villain, who would they be? I guess it's easy to say that the mountain would be the villain, right? That's what we're there to conquer. That's sort of the antagonist of everything that we're doing. But I don't really see mountains in that way. And I think when it comes to climbing, it's important to realize that I'm granted the ability to climb on the slopes of any peak. And I'm fortunate if the mountain allows me to summit and return successfully. Maybe the villain is the weather. Let's go with that. I think the villain is the weather because it is something that can turn your climb around in an instant. It's something that I spend a lot of time trying to control. And as far as I know, I've never been able to do that successfully. So the villain is the weather. The hero, I think there's lots of heroes. I think for us and for many climbs, it's the Sherpa, because I wouldn't be able to climb a big mountain like Everest successfully without their support and their graciousness and their amazing attitudes despite extremely difficult circumstances. So the villain is the weather, the heroes are the Sherpa. Excuse me. A scene in the documentary in which living through it, I felt hopeless. So I don't know if it's exactly played out in Capturing Everest, but I will tell you that at 25,000 feet on the way to Camp 4, so this is the day before our summit attempt, I started to feel very slow and sluggish in an area of the mountain that is relatively easy to climb, despite being at 25,000 feet. And so I'm moving along, and I remember looking to my left and seeing a mitt that someone had dropped, tumbling down the snow into oblivion, and I just stopped climbing and stood there and stared at it. And I told myself I needed to get it together. And I didn't realize what was happening at the time. I actually sat in the snow and was like, I just need to eat and drink. And of course I was running out of oxygen, right? And so my brain and my muscles didn't have what they needed to function successfully at that altitude. And I remember Garrett actually coming up behind me and looking at my oxygen tank and saying, oh yeah, you should climb a little bit slower. And I was thinking, I need to climb faster. What are you saying? And looking back at that now and thinking that I somehow managed to get up the yellow band, which is about a 30-degree slope of limestone at 25,000 feet without oxygen. I didn't actually feel, the situation certainly was hopeless. But what I remember in that moment was thinking that this is going to be the most difficult thing that I have to do today. And my body is shutting down, and it is going to take every ounce of willpower and mental fortitude that I have to get up this 30-degree slope. And I did it. I think I screamed out loud a few times, but it was proof to me that we are so much stronger mentally than we give ourselves credit for. I think I probably experienced an out-of-body experience in that moment. I also remember being at Camp 4 in a dark, cold, cramped tent, and waking up in the middle of the night, being elbowed in the ribs to wake up and get ready to summit, and just sort of thinking like, this is the moment. Everything that I've done in the past year has led me right here. And I swear that I could feel all of the strength and support from people over the past year and right then that were cheering for me. It's hard to describe what that felt like, but I had confidence in a time when most people, and I would have expected myself to not have confidence. I didn't feel afraid or nervous or scared about climbing to 8,800 meters. I just felt confident. And I can't describe how it felt to have that amount of support and strength, but it was something close to having an out-of-body experience because it was unexpectedly incredible. What is the meaning of life? For me, it is to take the experiences that I have been granted, because I feel grateful every day that I have been able to experience beautiful places with courageously inspiring people. And I've been able to accomplish things that are unexpected. And I think I now have a responsibility to share that with other people, so that if other people look back at my experiences and gain some amount of strength or confidence or inspiration from that in order to tackle the challenges in their life, that gives meaning to me and to my life. When I look back on things, I want to be able to say that I took my experiences and I used them to help other people. For me, that adds meaning. The purpose of life, I think it's the same thing. I think the purpose is to take your experiences, your knowledge, your skill, whatever that might be, and share it with other people in a way that somehow makes their lives just a little bit better. To me, that makes my life purposeful. How does climbing bring me closer to my statement on the purpose of life? Well, for me, climbing is the vehicle to do that. I'm someone who has often been doubted in the mountains. I'm a small woman, and the fact that I'm able to accomplish things that are unexpected gives me a platform to share what I learn with other people in a way that hopefully gives them the courage to try something that people don't expect them to do, or that other people have told them, no, you can't do. And if people look at me and learn from my experiences and are able to do that, and I'm able to do that through climbing, then I'm incredibly grateful for that. And that's part of what keeps me climbing, keeps me in the mountains. What is Everest to me? To me, Everest, and this is in capturing Everest, it was standing on the summit that day, given, cancer and divorce and putting my career on hold, Everest for me is more than a mountain. It was tangible proof to me, not to anyone else. I didn't care what anyone else thought, but I proved to myself that I was still strong despite a lot of challenges and hurdles and heartache that I had overcome in the past year. So it was really proof of my strength once again. And I needed to prove that given sort of what I'd been through in the past year. How should we measure our lives? For me, it is all about experiences. I think part of what we're here to do is to gather those experiences. And for me, those experiences, the biggest ones, the most important ones, have been in the mountains. And I think that mountains teach us things. Those experiences that I've had climbing successfully and unsuccessfully, in good weather, in bad weather, with friends that I loved, with people that I didn't get along with, that if I'm paying attention, those experiences teach me something. And that I grow then as a person. And that growth to me is important. It's important for me to measure progress in my life. And so climbing to me is important because it allows me to be, I think, closer to everything that I am capable of. The end.